Hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. It is 8 o'clock on the dot. So if you are streaming this live, 8 o'clock this morning, clouds draped across the area and thick clouds at that. So we're very saturated. I'll keep a 20% chance in for that spotty shower on your Cinco de Mayo forecast. Let me fast forward here. Today, if you only have a couple minutes here to watch even on the live stream, notice it's this evening that you need to prepare for some of the strongest thunderstorms. So a quick 1 to 2 inches of rain, some hail, and even some strong gusty winds are all possible in these thunderstorms, but it should all start after about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Until then, it'll be a spotty shower or an isolated a little piece of energy, but otherwise it's going to be later today. The reason, we have a cold front on the way. Look what it did over the past 24 hours in portions of Oklahoma and even in North Texas. All the hail reports, these are our storm reports, and even these tornadoes that were also reported. Some amazing, incredible video of those tornadoes. This is the cold front that's causing all the action. This is what's going to be moving across the state and into our area by this evening. Now, again, because we are so saturated, a 20% chance of just a little spotty shower. The radar trying to pick up on some of that moisture. Some of this is also what we call virga, and it continues to saturate the atmosphere. So before it actually hits the ground or maybe hits your windshield, it evaporates, and that's what's going to continue to deepen and thicken all the clouds outside across the area throughout the day. I'll put this into a forecast motion for you, our future track. This is 2:30. If you are taking the kids to school this morning, maybe you're watching this parked outside the school line. I understand. It's this afternoon. I think you may be able to get the kids mostly dry, and then it's going to be after 4 or 5 o'clock. So if the kids have after school activities, I know my son usually this afternoon usually has t-ball. It may be canceled, and that's because when these thunderstorms fire up, they're also going to have lightning attached with them. So this is 7 p.m. this evening. Notice how the deepening red starts to move in on our future track. I do think this is how it's going to play out as far as some of these thunderstorms will be capable of producing lightning, hail, gusty winds upwards of 40 to 50 miles per hour and a quick 1 to 2 inches of rain. So it's not expected to be area-wide flooding, but I do think a quick high water spot will be possible. We could see even an isolated spot pick up more than 2 inches of rain. Again, but I think the overall averages will be around 1 to 2 inches of rain. 10:30 this evening, most of these storms want to push right along the coastline and exit the area by about 11 or midnight tonight. So keep in mind, it is Cinco de Mayo. So throughout the day today, it's going to stay mostly dry. It may be one of those things too. If anyone's meeting somebody for happy hour or dinner this evening, you may be able to walk in to the restaurant dry, but then leaving, you'll be dealing with those heavy downpours. Getting into your Friday forecast, anything you have planned, it's just about the heat, and it will be borderline dangerous heat as we head into the weekend. You need to prepare now. We will be dealing with heat indices above that triple-digit mark. More on that here in a second. Let's talk about that timeline again as far as the storms are concerned. So we're starting the morning off dry. We're under cloudy skies. I think the best chance for the strongest to most severe thunderstorms that we're going to see will be from Bryan College Station and just north of Huntsville. The reason why, Storm Prediction Center on a scale of 1 to 5, notice the orange is a threat level 3. So again, the hail, the gusty winds, and those quick moving but heavy rainfall rates. Not out of the question too. An isolated brief tornado will be possible, and that may even be possible in Montgomery County or Walker County. These are areas that are also going to experience the chance for a few strong to severe thunderstorms. Check out the timeline. I have it starting as early as 3 p.m., but I think after 4 o'clock, that's when conditions will start to ramp up. Then moving through Harris County, portions of Fort Bend County, Waller County, Liberty County, between about 6 to 9 p.m. And especially that 7, 8, 9 p.m. timeline, that's when I think you're going to be hearing some big rumbles of thunder. So anything that you typically have planned on Thursday evening around 7 or 8 p.m., that's when I'm expecting the strongest storms here right across the city. Then closer to the coastline, Friendswood, I'm including League City, Kemah on this one. Once you get to about 9, 10 o'clock this evening, that's when I'm expecting those thunderstorms over your area. So it depends on exactly where you will be late this afternoon and evening when those thunderstorms start to kind of erupt over your area. But here's a pretty decent timeline of when those thunderstorms move through. Now let's talk about the heat. Have you been seeing some of the forecasted highs this weekend? We're expecting mid to upper 90s. Actual air temperature. When you put that in combined with the humidity, temperatures will be feeling over 100. So feels like on Saturday, that heat index maybe between 100 to 104 degrees. Really, really hot for this time of the year. That's record-breaking heat for this time of the year. And we don't really get much relief until maybe midweek next week. It looks to be a pretty dry forecast through much of next week, so it's going to be all about the heat. The heat's going to dominate our weather patterns starting this weekend. And not only in Houston, if your plan maybe for Mother's Day is to drive to Dallas or maybe San Antonio, Austin, the entire state will be dealing with high heat this entire weekend. So really hot. This is our first really hot weekend before we head into, the summer pattern right through October. So it's going to kind of come in and smack us right in the face this weekend. So be prepared. Have some plans to keep you and your family cool. Let me go over again. I know this is a live stream. A lot of you tune in at different times. So if you already just watched, I'm going to go over this again in case somebody just hit the button a little late. And so now you can check it out. Cloudy skies now, anytime now between about lunchtime. Our day should look like this. Clouds in place, a spotty sprinkle is possible just because of how saturated we are, and we shouldn't see much more than that. Once we get into the afternoon hours, 4, 5, 6 o'clock this evening, temperatures, especially when these thunderstorms kind of start to fire up, we will briefly get some nice rain cooled air, potentially maybe even for a little bit into the 70s as that rain is across the area right through your evening hours. So thinking of Cinco de Mayo, if you are planning to meet somebody out or also just with that late afternoon or early evening commute, it is Cinco de Mayo. A lot of people will be trying to pop in somewhere, either see some friends or something. It may be one of those times, again, you get inside, it's mostly dry, but then when you're leaving, that's when some of those downpours are. So take your time on the roadways if you can. Just slow it down just a little bit. We did have a lot of storm reports come in from this system overnight out of Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, and then in North Texas. Not only all the hail reports, and the wind reports as well, but also even the tornadoes. And that same system is what's on the move. It is this cold front, and as it does, that's what's going to fire up the thunderstorms here. Now, only areas north of the Woodlands are under that threat level of 2. So an isolated tornado, an isolated brief tornado would be possible. Some hail, some strong winds, 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts in some of these thunderstorms will be possible. But overall, we should hopefully see these thunderstorms move pretty quickly, and that's what's going to keep the risk for flooding area-wide at low levels. So a quick 1 to 2 inches of rain, we can handle that. If we get an isolated pocket of 3 to 4, okay, that's going to cause some brief high water spots. So we will be monitoring for the threat of those things. 7 o'clock this evening, notice that is when it's pouring. If you are in Conroe, Tomball, to Brenham, the Woodlands, even in Humble, Atascocita near the big airport, this is when we'll be experiencing a lot of lightning, those heavy downpours that can be quick but blinding rain on the roadways, so it can kind of make for difficult conditions to get through. And then by 10:30, 11 o'clock, it's already draped across the coastline, and that's what's limiting that flash flood potential, is just how quickly most of these storms are expected to move. Now, if you get 1 or 2 storms that don't move that fast, that's what maybe could give us that pocket of 3 or 4 inches. So we will continue to watch that very closely for you. In fact, we have Kim Castro in for the noon, and through the afternoon, she'll be on all of the social media pages updating you. And then we also have Tim Pandages and our chief meteorologist, David Paul, here throughout the afternoon as well. And they'll be doing team coverage on television. So a different platform than what you're watching, but on TV through about 5, 6, and 10 p.m. when the heart of those storms are ripping across the area. So here's the last breakdown of this timeline. 3 to 7 p.m., mainly areas north. Now, if anybody is watching right now and your day-to-day takes you north of Huntsville or College Station or Livingston, that threat level actually climbs to 3. So just kind of keep that in mind. The further north and east you travel, the stronger chance of seeing severe thunderstorms. And then notice right through the coastline here, right through about 9 to 11 o'clock, 1 to 2 inches of rain, isolated pockets a little bit more than that. We're going to keep you posted all throughout the day. Hope you have a great Cinco de Mayo, but also keep it a safe one.